Hey everybody, follow-up video from yesterday. So it is March 25th. It looks like, I don't know if you can see this, it looks like I'm being beamed up into heaven right now. This light that's coming through. At this point, bring it on. Let's go. Let's just get on up out of here. Okay, so quick video in response to the, just a quick 1-minute video yesterday on Instagram. A lot of people have reached out, so I thought I would just do a longer one, add some more context to that. So a couple things, online notaries, our office, and then just some market conditions I think that we should all just kind of chat about and make sure that we've got a plan for, make sure we're all on the same page. So first one, biggest one, online notaries, online closings. The backstory to that is, we've really known about that for about a year. We were ready to do that as of the fall. I think we were already even signed up before it went legal, which was January 1st this year. I think Closing Bureau was the first in town to be ready for that. And then a lot of other people have now copied it like they like to do. I'll just let that one go. Online closing. So the underwriters have waived certain exceptions here recently for them to be Florida notaries on there. That has really sped up the ability of Florida title companies to do those. So we're on 2 platforms right now. They're third-party companies. We're on 2 of them right now. We may sign up for 2 more, just depending on if what their availability is, just to ensure that we have as many options as possible to close your deals. So as far as that goes, the way it works is you're at home or office or wherever you're quarantined at or whatever's going on, computer, tablet. I think you can even do it on the phone. There's still some requirements there. So just because you're sitting at home in your underwear with your stockpiled toilet paper doesn't mean that we don't have to still follow the rules. So still need a valid form of ID. So driver's license, passports, military ID, right? That whole list. Make sure your customers have that. And then online, the difference between online and in person is you still need 2 witnesses on those documents. In person, the notary can be one of the witnesses, and usually the other one is like the realtor that's there, the lender, whoever. Online, the notary can't be a witness, so you have to have 2 other witnesses. That's kind of a little wrinkle in that. So we'll tell your customers that at a time, but I just want to throw that in there. There's a little fee for it. I think it's between $100, $125. That should be a no-brainer at this point. Guys, be serious. I mean, with what we're going on, or what we have going on, the difference between a deal closing and not over $100. I'm not even gonna spend time on that one. As far as we go, get with your lenders early on. So if you've got a buyer, get with your lender as soon as possible. I mean, as soon as you've got a contract, I would find out if the lender accepts e-notes, electronic notes, and the lender is really the one that drives this. So I would do every single deal on the computer right now if we could, and we're doing the majority of them now online. But the lender, it kind of drives the ship. If they don't accept non-wet signature notes, we're kind of dead in the water. There's a chance that we may be able to do the closing and then have them mail a signed note. That one's still kind of being flushed out because so much of this is happening in real time. So we're still keeping an eye on that one. As far as that goes, I think a little bit of understanding that times are different. The good news is that Closing Bureau we're still working to close your deals, but I think everybody needs to realize that times are just a little different, and we need to have a little flexibility with some stuff. It can't be the traditional model. So that kind of leads into what we're doing in our office. Really, skeleton crew, best case scenario, we've got 1 or 2 people that kind of come and go. And that's basically for mail and then depositing checks, some things like that. So, just don't swing by the office expecting the full crew to be there, because they're not. Most teams working from home and then working remotely. We've split up into 2 different offices as well. So we're just trying to limit exposure. Okay, so that's going on. So email and phone calls. And if you need to know anybody's email, it's just our first name @closingbear.com. So if you know their name, that's the email. So email whoever you want. You can always reach out to me too if somebody's tied up. Working from home has its own challenges. So if somebody's tied up, you can always reach out to me and I'll get to work for you. Closings themselves, we're obviously limiting the amount that are done in person. I think that we still need to do pre-signs, mail-aways where needed. So if a lender doesn't do that, I think that those still need to be done. And then the closings themselves, really 2 things. If buyers and sellers are there together, we're using both conference rooms and we're splitting them up. And not because we don't like to have them together. If you closed with us, we love that. I think it's a lot of fun. But we're just trying to limit the amount of people in one room or one space. Because of that, we're not closing loans back to back, right? So, and this is a busy time of year, but we're allowing a certain window in between closings for 2 reasons. One is so that we can fully sanitize the entire space. So tables, chairs, pins, door handles, the whole thing, so that every customer that comes in has a brand new sanitized platform. And the other thing is, since we're not booking them back to back, we don't have people in the lobbies. We're just trying to reduce the amount of people in the lobby and the overcrowding of those spaces. So not because we want to, we love to have a big party, we love to have everybody in there as a big party. It just kind of is what it is right now. So just know that. What else? Let's talk about the market. So a lot of realtors, a couple of brokers have reached out, lenders have reached out. So I know it's something we're all dealing with, is deals are falling apart. Okay, now not all of them. We're still working, but I know that we've lost probably 6 deals in the last week, basically tied to coronavirus. A couple of things on that. Okay, if people are worried about the closing date and not happening on the closing date, there's really 2 things that we can do. We can do pre-occupancy agreements, we can do post-occupancy agreements, we can work on addendums. All of those things, my realtors out there, you don't need to do those yourself. Get me or get Tom at closingbear.com, get him involved. We will word those for you. We'll draft them just to make sure everybody's on the same page. We don't charge for those. So I know a lot of people around town do. I know a lot of people around town that have taken my forms and used them as their own. But like I always say, you can copy what I do, but not why I do it. And I'll just leave that for there. You know who you are. So work on that. So the big thing is, we're working on agreements, right? We're just dealing with people. We've got this other stuff going on, but people still want to buy and people still want to sell. And it's our job to help educate them on how to do that. Let them know about some options that they may not even known about with, pre and post occupancy. We can certainly do that. I think part of what we have an obligation to do for our customers now, can I make a U-turn here? I'll probably get a ticket in the mail. $300 ticket next month for shooting this video. Part of an obligation that we have is educating our customers, right? And really adding value to them right now. And this is our hashtag. I've used this forever. Hashtag add value. We need to actually add real value to them. And I think that the way that we do that right now is by setting expectations and doing that in a way that is professional, but letting them know information when we have it, options that are available, and then reasonable expectations based on the market conditions. So it may not be the case that you call and say, hey, I want to close, tomorrow at 4. We just may not have it. And if you're doing the online stuff, we don't actually schedule those. The online notaries do. So there needs to be some flexibility. And I think based on what I've seen, I know that Closing Bear is bending over backwards to make sure we can do whatever we can for your deals. Most of the realtors that I've seen are doing the same. Lenders, I think, are backlogged. I think they're trying hard, but I think that their underwriting, especially final underwriting, is really having some hiccups. Not all, but I just think industry-wide. So I think that it's not unreasonable to tell our customers, hey, look, we need you to work with us a little bit. Okay. Normally, this is a customer service business. We do anything you want to do. Right now, we're just limited in some areas, and so properly setting those expectations and letting them know that communication may not be as zippy as it was. The closing schedule may not be as open as it is, but at the end of the day, we are still closing your deal. We are getting the deal done. We're not running to bury our heads in the sand. And I think that they'll appreciate that. I think that that's, if somebody were to do that to me, I would totally get it. This is not just but it's similar to post-hurricane stuff that we've seen in Florida. There's just ways of everybody coming together, and I think that we need to do that now. If there's anything that we can do, I think this is getting a little long here. If there's anything that we can do at Closing Bear, anything I can do for you, reach out to me. Let's chat. Let's talk. You can reach me on text, email, phone, Facebook message, Instagram, direct, all of it. So any way you want to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. Let me know what questions you have. Also, while I'm on that, coronavirus is not a valid contractual reason to back out of a deal. So I'm going to do a separate video on this probably because I keep getting this. It's not an act of God. It's not force majeure as in the contract term. So if that's the case, I would just tell people they're losing binders and they're not. It's just not a valid reason to back out. I'll do another video on that coming up. Also, I forgot to mention this. If you're a realtor and you have a buyer that's interested in property, here's a great idea, and you may not, nobody's probably told you this, but here's one that just came to my mind because I'm trying to hashtag add value. I would qualify your buyers with a lender that is already open to e-notes, and I would present your offers for sale telling the sellers the lender is already, they're pre-approved with a lender who is willing to do online electronic closings, right? That way the seller knows already up front, there is nothing going to stop this from happening, within reason, and we're not going to have any hiccups with closing. It's already pre-approved and it's ready to go. That's a heck of an idea, and I think that's how we need to be thinking right now. How do we use this as an opportunity to think creatively and to really add value for customers that they may not even know they're missing out on? So those are some thoughts on that. I'll try to do another video here before too long based on the feedback I'm getting from everybody, but keep it coming. Let me know how we can help you. And if there's anything you think that we can do better, make sure I know that too, because I'd love to do that. All right, talk soon. Thanks.